You know what? I think it's about time I got my Supra ready for some paint. In my last video, we worked on the engine bay shave and also started the process of doing all the body work on the shell. I completely stripped the interior of the car. And last of all, removed the front and rear subframes from the shell. And now that we're all up to date, we can start working on the next stage of this build, which is
definitely not a normal mod you would do to your car, but I'm turning my rear quarter panel into carbon fiber. And to do that, I need to strip everything and prep it so I can make a mold to replicate my current quarter panel.
Oh, what? That's messed up. So now I know why the side is completely rusted out. It's because it's actually been resealed, but not with the stock stuff, with like some rubber tape. And as you can see, it's done a terrible job. Water's gotten through it and it's rusted these inner parts here, which is amazing because now I have to fix it. This is a spare front nose piece that I have for my Supra, and I'm going to use this to fix a bunch of rust spots that I have on the car and holes that I have to patch.
Overall, this car does not have a lot of rust considering its age and that it's known to have some bad seals which cause leaks. This rust spot on the other hand is not common and was only caused from whoever replaced the previous seal. Then I had a couple of the boys come over to do some free labour and help prep the shell for paint.
Hey, ready to come over here, Ben? I need to sharpen this. I just need to, if you're able to catch these sparks so that it doesn't like go everywhere. Alright. Like probably like right there. Yeah, probably there. You can hold it there.
That's good stuff.
Ben, it's a joke. Come on, man. Look, you got lots of sparks in this one.
Got a lot of sparks in it?
Yeah.
The boys did help make a lot of progress removing the old sealant, and without them I would still be prepping the shell to this day. It's probably the most exhausting thing to do considering we did this during summer.
After removing the last trims off the car, I have found some more rust, unfortunately. Just in this corner, you can barely see it, but it's eating away at that middle, and then same on the other side. So I'm gonna remove the whole windscreen with a razor blade and a roll of wire that I bought from Bunnings. This is also gonna help when we get the car painted so we don't have to wrap this whole windscreen up as well. Pretty much just have to cut a hole. Once you've made your hole with the razor blade, you can get your threaded wire to the other side. It's actually ridiculous how long it takes. Alright, here, okay. To show you how time consuming removing this is, I'll show you where I am at the moment. Mark that there. Let's give it all for 30 seconds. Now we're here. There we go. I'm making the decision to undo all these spot welds because there's a few spots in here that I can't get to without this out, and I also want to remove this rear boot and make that carbon fibre. As you all may know, I've spent a lot of time cutting and welding on this quarter panel, and since I'm not a professional body worker, there is a little bit of body filler on it, and a little bit isn't good enough for me. And I've actually been thinking about this so much, what I'm going to be doing with this quarter panel. I didn't just want to paint over it and then be done with it. To other people, they're going to see it just looks normal, but to me, I'm going to know that there's a little bit of filler underneath that paint, and I don't want that. And for a very long time, I've always wanted to make my own carbon fiber parts. And what better way to start learning on the biggest panel on my car? Not to mention the body panels aren't even straight at the moment. As you can see, the middle, that's the high spots, so I've got to level that all out. And on top of that, I've never done this before, so there's going to be a high chance that I mess something up. But if I mess something up, and you want to do this to your car, there's going to be a less likely chance you're going to mess up. And I've also done a lot of legality research on it because I'm removing a very structural part of the car and replacing it with carbon fiber, and the only way to be able to drive this on the road legally would be something called an ADR test, which is pretty much you have to make a replica of what I made, so I'd have to make it twice, put it on another Supra, send it off to a company for them to crush it and to see how it crumbles. So not only is that going to cost me a lot of money and a lot of time, but it's not even guaranteed to pass the test. And then after that, you got to get it engineered certified so you can actually drive it on the road, which I will be doing because I do not want to drive this on the road if it's not legal to drive.
I started the mold with the smallest part first, laying my mold release agent onto the plug. Second came the gel coat. You can get this in many different colors, but I just went with white. Third came the fiberglass, and definitely take your time measuring your catalyst in the resin, because if you do too much or too less, it can cause problems. But I wouldn't do that.
I didn't even have time to film this because I messed it up and I was trying to fix it. Depending on the weather, you're meant to put 1 to 2% of catalyst into the mixture. I think I ended up doing about 3 or 4%, but I'd rather mess up on a small piece like this than the big piece for the whole quarter panel. Biggest fail point was this corner here due to it not curing and not having enough layers. And because this is such an awkward corner, I have to make a new mold to go around this section only, so when I pull it off, it doesn't crack again.
Take 2 with a different plug design, and I made sure to use the correct amount of catalyst.
I'd say I've got about 1 hour until this fully cures, so I'm going to go get the fiberglass ready so I can start laying it on. If it ends up getting too dark because it's 6 o'clock at the moment, I'll bring out my big flashlight, which actually helps put some heat onto the mold, so I'll probably end up doing that. Currently 7:20 at the moment, so it's been 40 minutes. The gel coat is still a little bit wet. The reason why I can tell is because all the bloody mosquitoes, they ran into it. We have 2 different types of fiberglass I'm using for the molds. We've got a finer, thinner fiberglass sheet, 225 I think it is, and then we have a thicker one which is about 450, I think, around about that. It's 8:30 and we've finished all 3 layers for the mold, so we're going to let this sit and cure overnight, and then in the morning we should be able to take it off. It's all cleaned up, but we have a few problems with this mold. For this corner, you can actually see the connection between the fiberglass and gel coat, but if you look at some of the edges, the fiberglass has peeled off while it was curing. I should be able to fix this by putting more resin around the edge, and it should cure up any dry spots I have as well. As for inside the mold, I'm having a lot of trouble with this clay I'm using. People say filleting wax. I honestly don't know where to get that.
I ended up continuing without finding filleting wax, and just accepted I have a lot to fix on the molds afterwards. Did a quick trim the next day, and the top roof mold is good to go.
Only one part of the mold left and we're all done.
So far it's about 3 weeks worth of work on the molds, which I think is pretty good considering I've never done this before.
Just have to wait for the gel coat to cure a little bit, then it's on to the final fiberglass layers. I do need to do another layer on the lower part as I kind of forgot. I hope I put release agent on the side, it doesn't feel like it.
This part I was the most nervous about, because if I had any major damage on the insides of the molds, I didn't have the time or money to fix it.
You can see it's peeled off a lot of paint, but I'm not really worried about that because that can come off and it won't affect the mold. Now I know I'm not a professional at this and I definitely didn't take my sweet time with it. The gel coat layer was fine, but the actual fiberglass layer over that had a little air bubble in it, which allowed for these parts to crack. It's definitely not perfect, and I'm going to have to do a lot of work to the mold itself to get it ready to lay the carbon fiber in it. I'd probably say the worst part of the mold is the quarter panel here. I had so many air pockets up on these corners. It's gonna take so long to fix this, but it's fixable, so I'm not mad. Now that the mold's off, we don't really need the quarter panel anymore, so we're gonna go ahead and take that off. And to get them off, you have to drill where the spot welds are. And I don't recommend using a drill because you can actually blow through the metal like I've done here. But you pick up one of these tools, no, I don't know what it's called, and it'll go around the spot weld and you're not gonna go through the middle. Now the Mark III Supra quarter panel is made up of 4 pieces. You have the top roof, the actual side panel, the other side, and then there's another piece of metal around the fuel cap. If we look on this side, it's gonna be underneath paint. There's gonna be a copper line that runs across here, joining the 2 panels together. And you have to cut that copper out to separate the 2 pieces. It's off. I didn't think it was gonna come off that quick, bro. This thing doesn't even resemble a Supra anymore. It's quite sad, but it's for the greater good. I really hope these molds turn out okay because I have no backup if it doesn't work. I guess I can just run it as a weight reduction mod. Like, quarter panels are cosmetic, you don't really need them, do you? Should be right. Bit of rust under the quarter panel, nothing too bad. I may actually be the first person to make a carbon fiber quarter panel for a Mark III Supra. If these do turn out alright, I may consider making more and selling them. But anyway, I'm gonna end this video here because the next time you see the Supra, it's gonna be in a paint booth getting painted.